good.
Oh, okay. All right, so welcome to the Naked Lunch Club. I'm Brother Nubia, and I'm with.
Reverend 360 Copper.
And today on the Naked Lunch, we talk about the discrimination hoax of the Asian or the Asian American discrimination hoax. So, man, it's been a good week for you. You say you got some extra money that you didn't plan on, so you're happy about that, and that's a good thing.
Oh yeah, man. Oh yeah, that's a real good thing, man. You know, especially not expecting it. So that's always money to put away. You know what I'm saying? When you didn't expect. So
Right. So
yes,
the weather out there has been kind of weird out in Texas, hasn't it been, or has it been okay? Or
yeah, man, it's been weird, man. It's been a little like right now it's about 50 something. It's a little drizzling outside. But a few days ago it was like, you know, high 70s, sunny. So yeah, the weather's been a weird. But the COVID cases they say have been going down. So, you know, that's a good thing. And you know, it's funny, man, there's a lot of people down here getting shot. And, you know, I'm being told, you know, different side effects that people have, and so yeah, I'm definitely still on board with not taking it, man. I'm just not going. I've been fine. I've had it test a couple of times, and I've come out next year, so you know.
oh, okay, yeah.
Not saying. What about you? You gonna take the shot? Did you take the shot?
I actually took it, man. I actually got the shot. I got it maybe 3 weeks ago or 2 weeks ago. I took the shot, and I haven't had any side effects, anything of that nature. I've been watching it, but so far so good. So, but like I said, you never know though. I took a chance with it because I much rather be safe than sorry. And for a person like me, man, I'm really health conscious and a coward, I guess, when it comes to sicknesses and stuff like that. I took it, man. I know it's not FDA approved. I know that it was done on an emergency release authorization. But I listened to and I read up on it, and from what I could hear, from what I was understanding, it was okay to do. I last weekend, man, I was eating some popcorn, man, and my front tooth, it was I bit down on the seed accidentally, and it just put a hole in that tooth, man. So I had to rush to the dentist and get a filling in there and get it taken care of. I got to get a cap on it in a couple more weeks, but they fixed me. That's what happened to me last week. Yeah, that's why, man. I called and said, man, whew, I had to go to. But then I thought that I would be able to do it after. So yeah.
You dealing with your teeth, man. That's a lot of pain, man.
Yeah. I said it's Naked Lunch Club. So today we talk about the and I'm upset about it because the way the media has portrayed it is as if Americans are discriminating against Black people in this country. We do not discriminate. We have never discriminated. We've reacted to discrimination, but we've never been the perpetrators of a discriminatory act against any group of people. That's just not how we are. That's not in our, or a certain group of people in America are targeting Asians. That's not the case. Black people are not targeting Asians. As a matter of fact, Black people, we don't target anybody to be discriminatory towards. And on the flip side of that, and the media should bring America, and it's called those that feel they have pale privilege, that they own this country, and everybody else in this country, we're all just foreigners who just have to be on their land, causing them trouble. Those are the ones that are discriminating against everybody, and it's not just against the Asians. It's against everybody that's not pale in this country. And that's what we need to bring out. And if we're going to bring an end to racism and discrimination in this country, then we need to be honest and we need to bear the naked truth out there. There's just a small group of racist pale people in this country, backed by a larger system of racism that's supported by that system of racism. And down through the history, we've all had it, but the other people can't say that. Asian Americans, in fact, discriminate against Black Americans out of our community every year, and they return none. They invest nothing, nothing in education, nothing into finance, nothing into social programs. They don't do anything back, but they take billions of dollars out of our community through the cosmetic industry, which they have, I say, is a hoax, and that's why I'm upset about it.
Yeah, and the crazy part is you know, they have these they want to make these Asians end up becoming these people, and it just ironically all of these incidences that they're making public, you know, that they're demonizing these Black people, they all kind of have like a red pinkish shirt on. You know, have you noticed that? Have you noticed? So to me, a lot of these incidents, like you say, you know, instances were made public. Everybody's got on some sort of red, pinkish type shirt, some sort of identifier, you know. But back to the minority, and they're trying to make these Asian people, these Asian groups, as these model minorities. But some of these people, a good portion of these people, let's just be real. I'm not trying to. They get involved. Okay, you know what type of massage parlors I'm talking about. They busted one in Rockford 15 years ago. It was a multi-million-dollar. A couple of those spots there in Rockford that they busted. Asian rain. That's been going on for years. Like I said, counterfeiting. A lot of Asian gangs. So these people are model minorities, like they're trying to say. Like you said, we don't discriminate against these people. We don't hire these people. Most of their economics come from our dollars. Okay, and like I said, from the Asian to the Middle Eastern people, we need to support them economically. There was an article done. I wouldn't say Time Magazine. This was a few years back, but we know the condition of the city of Detroit. As far as economically go, it's depressed, the economy is bad, but tell me why the Middle Eastern convenience store, liquor store, those type of stores, tell me why that's a multi-billion-dollar industry, Detroit.
Yeah, and you know,
this was over 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay, where are these stores at? You don't see these liquor stores, these convenience stores, tobacco. You don't see this stuff in white communities.
No,
no. Neighborhoods.
And those are the ones.
Back to,
yeah, you know, and that's the strange about it. They got all their stores in our community, but it's the pale people that's just so-called discriminated against them, and not us. That's you know, I mean, exactly. That's a red flag for anybody to take a look at. I mean, honestly, think about it. You have your stores in the community where the people, we accept them with open arms, even though they have never accepted us with open. But
on a daily basis, and then not only that, they give off this perception as these people came over here with money and they worked hard. They got over
countries as well. This country, when you come over as an immigrant, especially as an Asian immigrant, you are entitled to certain grants, certain amounts of money that everyday citizens are not entitled to. We've worked in this country for 400 years, but those grants, and I go because I research grants because I want to write some grants for some of the things that I'm doing. So I research the grants, and I'm surprised to find out that 90% of the grants that I've seen on the US.grant website were grants offered to foreign countries. And then there's probably 40% offered to Native Americans in this country. But when it comes to grants offered to Black people in Black communities, the only grants you're going to get is a study for HIV. $100,000 grants that really you can't do anything with it but buy office material with it. So these people come to this country, they're given a pass. They're given a head start on Americans. Listen, we as Black people, we are American citizens, whether we want to admit it or not. We are American citizens. But foreigners come over, and they're given a head start even over us and what we've done. And this is what makes it so appalling to me, is that this country, the media has the nerve to start ragging about Asian Americans being discriminated against. Man, I mean, that to me is just.
And the crazy part is this, you know, and I know there's probably a lot of you know, Democratic supporters or people who call themselves Democrats who probably listen to the show, that have been the president and the vice president of the United States are both immigrants themselves. Barack Obama, father is Nigerian, and both of Kamala Harris's parents are immigrants. And ironically, her mother is Asian, and you know, half the campaign was Asian, half the campaign was sister girl, and she got a lot of backlash for that. How ironic is it now that Black people discriminate against Asian people? That's just my own conjecture on that. I just thought that. I was like, wow, you know, for a Black woman, sister girl, you know, whatever, and when that didn't catch traction the way that she wanted it to catch traction, or the backlash she got because of that, all of a sudden we don't like Asian people. How ironic.
Yeah. I think that's, you know, I don't know if it's because Kamala Harris is in office now, and somehow or another we want to bring about an awareness of her Asian ancestry. I'm not sure what the scoop is behind it. You know, the theory is that.
And furthermore, what do the Democrats? What do all the Democrats, all the people who voted for Joe Biden and her? Another thing is, you know, that Joe Biden just set up aside a whole bunch of money for illegal item up and something else. So that's more money going towards undocumented people who don't even have visas. This is the stuff that the Democrats are doing. What are they doing for so-called Black people, the ones who supported them, the ones who chastised others who didn't support them?
Yeah.
Like, that's my thing. Like, you know, what is the excuse now?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like they're slapping us in the face right now. Don't think some new crime bills and things like that are coming down the pipeline. Because Joe Biden is one of the original writers of the crime bill that we're currently still under, and then Kamala Harris, you know her track record in the state of California. I call her Commander Harris. You know, that's her name to me. That's Commander Harris. But I really want to know what majority of so-called Black Democrats think right now, currently, as we sit, what's going on. Because I know most of us as Black people, most of us, to be confused, know wholeheartedly that we do not discriminate, what they want to say, discriminate, and we don't harm these people at all. We support. How do they feel about this? What? And this is coming from. I'm not trying to get political. I'm just saying.
But no, it's okay. Yeah. Press. You know, when we talk about, you know, discrimination in this country, when we talk about our officials, America has a code that they, you know, it's kind of like the Blue Wall Code, but they're all but this is a political code, though. You know, the Blue Wall Code is that, you know, you don't rat out the police officer, even if he's done something that's illegal or something that's bad, you stand behind him, you know. So it is in politics as well. We have this code in this country where we, you know, especially our politicians don't want to, and I'm talking about when I say our politicians, Black politicians, don't want to address the real issues in this country that confront Black people. Instead, they want to go along with this melting pot theory. And when we look at the melting pot theory, when I talk about the melting pot theory, it's that old saying that the great American melting pot. What we haven't realized is that in that melting pot, the only people that got melted were us. We lost our heritage, we lost our culture, and we got assimilated. Into this American scheme of free land, of equality. And you and I both know that's a bunch of bullshit. It doesn't exist for you and I on a larger sense. It just doesn't. We've been through 400 years, man. Slavery, redlining, peonage, discrimination, Jim Crow, black code. So how in the hell can you tell me that this country has our best interests at heart and at mind? But now, in the midst of all of this, we've been hit by the COVID. They're saying that Asians are being attacked because Trump called it the China virus. And so these pale people, in response to Trump blaming the Asians or the Chinese for the COVID, they're so-called attacking these innocent, good-natured Asian Americans. Will you just tell me, please, anybody, I don't care who it is, give me one instance where the Asian people have contributed or helped Black people. Now you ask me, can I do the same? Can I give you an occasion where we've actually joined in and helped them? Here's a good point. Right now, there are more Black people out there supporting Asians.
And furthermore, show me what area of criminal activity that Asian people are involved in. I'm talking about some of the most heinous, because human trafficking is the most worst atrocity out there right now. Is the human trafficking.
Yeah.
Let's not even talk about the drugs. Again, the drugs, the counterfeiting, gang activity, human trafficking alone. They're involved in that.
Oh,
They're involved in that. We have plenty of that. We knew what was going on in the city of Rockford with the massage parlors there in Rockford. So they're involved in criminal activity. So identify that as well.
Yeah.
I don't know any Black groups, any Black gangs, any Black organizations that's involved in trafficking. I don't know.
No.
When I say Black, I mean indigenous, but I'm talking about us.
Yeah.
The distinct group of people that you said went through the 400 years of atrocities and all like that. So where have we been involved in that sort of thing? I ain't talking about Jamaicans, Haitians, other groups of melanated people. I'm talking about us. We've never been involved in anything like that.
No,
because when they make these claims, that's who they're talking about. They mean us. Because the other groups of melanated people, the African people, these people will distinctly tell you who they are, and they show their support. There's been groups of so-called African people who have, we need to stop hurting these Asian people, or you need to stop hurting these Asian people. Africa, or whatever country they're from, we stand in solidarity, with the Asians.
Yeah.
While these Chinese people over there and on that continent, in different countries in that continent over there, taking over right now.
Yeah.
Mistreating people and being made chiefs of tribes and stuff like that. So miss me with that, man.
Yeah, I feel you.
And believe for 1 minute that we are out here harming these folks. Man, I feel bad for you.
Yeah. And the thing, when you talk about the illegal enterprises, one of the biggest Asian markets, illegal markets, is called pink slavery, where it's human trafficking. They're involved with selling their own people and other races of people into a slave market of sex. So their hands are not clean. Their hands are not clean by a long shot. So we need to, but when we talk about where have we supported them though? Look at the Rainbow Coalition. The black, the red, the yellow, the brown. We supported everybody in the Rainbow Coalition. When we talked about Black Lives Matter, we covered can't remember, and I'm not
our problem.
Yeah. We've been too vocal for other people and not vocal enough for ourselves. Yeah, and that's systemic of a mental illness too. But I can't think of any protests that I've seen on TV where the footage showed an Asian immigrant or an Asian American protesting in a Black Lives Matter movement. I'm not saying it hasn't happened. I'm saying I haven't seen it. Now, maybe it has, but to my knowledge, when I look at the protesters that go on here in Rockford, I don't see any Asian people involved with our protests whatsoever. I see black people.
Well, if you look at Asian groups historically when it comes to voting and anything political in this country, they have never ever been supportive of one party. They've never been asked for their support for one specific group or party. They haven't been asked to be responsible for any of those things. And I think right now, because I really believe that there's more black people right now who feel that the Democratic Party hasn't done anything for us. A lot of us don't support the Republican Party. So right now, I really believe the Democrats are trying to get the Asian groups to be their new voting base. I really believe.
And I think, I think that is what,
they're losing traction with us because they've never. I've never really seen the Asian groups be vocal about anything politically. Most of these folks keep their heads down, run their businesses, and keep it moving. So,
well, one of the things,
I know, support anything.
I know. I think you're right about the political movement in terms of wanting to build a political base with the Asians, because that is an untapped power base in this country. And for a while there were a lot, but I think with and that might be a smart political move if you look at it in that regards to the fact that Democrats want to now somehow secure that power block of Asian voters. That might be a smart move in light of the Trump or the Trumpsters, let me just say, who has given platform to the pale privileged groups in this country, the proud girls. They call themselves proud boy, whatever you want to call them. I don't. Anyway, to these racist groups. So we got all these extreme racist pale Americans now mounting up, and we got the Republicans creating all kind of havoc right now in the realm of voting rights and laws. So it would seem logical that if you're a Democratic strategic, you would political strategic, you would try to garner the Asian voting block. That would make sense. And maybe this would be the only sense I could see to the political strategy to somehow or another double that now. Exist, they hold you down. I said that racism in this country will not end because it gives pale people power. It keeps them in power. But again, if we're going to support other races, those races need to also support us. So I'm saying to the Asian community, stop taking, start giving. Create some type of, you've got $90 billion out of pockets, man. You can create a
But here's the thing too, and we have to start. And just really quick, there's a couple of brothers that I've seen some good builds on. There's one brother that specifically he did a great build on the chemicals and the side effects of the chemicals that they do put in the hair products. So there's another thing is too, we have to start supporting each other's businesses as well.
Right.
There are other, there are smaller Black-owned businesses here in the United States that, have natural hair products. Okay, we have natural hair products. There she has her own Sally. It's called Black Fox Beauty Supply. But she has everything that Sally's Beauty Supply has in it. So we just have to start supporting each other. We got to start doing more research and start supporting each other more because, they're going to try to shut us out that market because if we buy their products from them, oh yeah, they'll try to shut us out. I believe that wholeheartedly. But you know what? They'll sell us all of that stuff at an extremely marked up price, because what you can get some of these things for over in China, over in in Taiwan and some of these other Asian countries, man, the markup is ridiculous when they sell it to us over here. So
yeah.
they are keeping us out of these markets, and started researching and finding some of these black companies, listening to some of these black media for years and years and years. Us melanated people who are from this continent, from this country, we have to start supporting each other economically.
Right.
We all have different ideologies, different schools of thought, different ways, or just involved where he pretty much wants us into a burning building. Integration has really hindered melanated people, so-called black people. It has really hindered us because we have stopped supporting each other economically like that. He has his people working for him mainly. Other groups of people who are doing it in our community and we're going.
Right.
So
definitely.
Let's close them down and let's open it up for ourselves.
Right. And that's what makes it so.
I'm off the soapbox.
And that's what makes it so easy for other groups to come in and to capitalize on the black communities, because we're so stop listening to what society is telling us and look at what's actually going on within our own communities, which is
exactly. We great people, man. Like everybody. If you just think about copy off of what we have put out here, from clothes to music, food. We innovators out here. We're innovators.
Yeah.
And we create something. We let the world in on it, and then people take it over and start marketing it right back to us.
Yeah, and that's the thing. They learn how to exploit our the things that we want, the things that we need. The other groups of people learn how to exploit that and take advantage of us by exploiting that. We even allow them to. Sometimes we were so, I guess I want to say, so duped into the system until. Let's look at the George Floyd. I'm sorry, situation that Mr. Floyd was murdered. One guy there, he was a martial artist. There was a first responder there, but the general population, or the crowd, I'm sorry, was that of the average lay person who didn't have a whole lot of medical experience, but they had enough sense to see that Mr. Floyd was in trouble. They had enough sense to see that what you were doing to this man wasn't right. But now we have a trial going on, and the prosecutor, the Chauvin's only statement to that is this: if you had not put your knee in his neck for 9 minutes, would Mr. Floyd be alive today? And the answer is, we don't know. Therefore, because we don't know the answer, we have to conclude it is your fault that he is not here today, and that's called murder in the first degree. Not second or third, but that's intentional homicide, premeditated murder. And that's just a double truth, Ruth.
Well, it was already reported that when the call came through and who the person was, that guy came there specifically because one thing is being underreported is that these two had a previous relationship. George Floyd was a bouncer at a club, and this guy also was a bouncer at the same club. So they already had a big relationship with each other. So that's also being underreported, and we know why it's being underreported because basically George Floyd had messed around with this man's girlfriend previously. So that's what I heard allegedly. So
yeah,
that's what happened. Had you heard anything like that? That's what I reported.
I didn't hear it, but common sense led me to assume that Floyd and Chauvin had some type of past actions against this man were not natural to someone you don't know. And if you listen to some of the videos, you'd hear Floyd say to the police officer, I'm not that guy. I'm not that kind of guy. What kind of guy was he talking about? What kind of guy did they assume that he was? That what made Floyd say, I'm not that kind of guy? He wasn't resisting. He wasn't combative. He was probably high, I would say that. And he probably freaked out, as most people do when they're high. But that's not a crime, though. You don't deserve to die because you're high and you freak out. You deserve, careful handling at that point. If you know someone's inebriated or high off of they're combative, as if they're out to hurt you, because they're not. And in this case, it's clearly seen that Mr. Floyd had no intentions. And I think another thing was Floyd knew, especially sure, but I think Floyd knew that. And I think that also put in Floyd's mind, this guy has the potential right now to do some serious harm to me, so I'm not going to be combative. Let me go along with the program and try to explain to them that I'm not that guy that you think I am. I'm not that guy, Chauvin had a premeditated idea of who Floyd was and the outcome that he wanted with Floyd. And even when he called, it's going to trigger me, it's going to get me on edge, and I'm going to say to him, put your fucking hands on the steering wheel.
That's a tactic that they use. They come at you in an escalated manner for you to react to them in an escalated way.
What to expect? Because he had multiple battles with the police, and they were essentially afraid of him. They didn't want to take any chances. This is what I'm getting from Floyd. Apparently, and it's not being talked about, somewhere along the line, there was a history that Floyd had with and this is speculation, but there must have been a history that Floyd had with these officers, at least one of them. And
I told this to my children. I said this to them. Anytime that I go out in the world, in a vehicle, whether I'm working or not, it's a good possibility if I have to deal with the police, it's a good possibility I may not come out of there was a group, I don't know, these Europeans, Caucasians, people, whatever you want to call them, they're all cold with each other. They control the book. And that's another thing we have to understand and realize. They control the book. The supreme land of the law is the I'm white and I say so law. It could be